I'm always amazed when people see in their 20s that we're saying we'd love for you to aspire to save and invest 20, 25%. We get it. I know that's hard. But the reason we put such a stretch goal for you is because when you understand what every dollar in your army of dollars could become, you will be on fire to figure out how you make this happen. And we created a great case study because a lot of you guys, I think when you're younger, you spin your wheels and focus your effort on the wrong thing. You're thinking, if I can just go find the greatest and latest investment that's popping off right now, that's what I need to do. And we want you to know, no, don't waste the calories. Don't waste the effort. What would be better is you to think about those two levers we just covered. How do I make more money? How do I spend less money? Because it doesn't have to be hard. I just need to save more because those good decisions will be rewarded. So, Bo, show them the case study on why we can say with such conviction that savings rate is greater than your rate of return.
So let's think about two savers. Let's think about Sal the Savant and Manny the Mutant. Let's assume that both of them begin their saving and investing journey earning $50,000 a year as their salary. And let's assume that every year their wages increase by 3% so they keep up with inflation. Let's assume that Sal the Savant has a 10% savings rate, but is a savant and can actually earn a 25% annual rate of return every single year. As a reminder, if we think about what the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies in the United States has done, on average over the last 60, 70, 80 years, it's somewhere between 9 to 11%. But let's say that Sal can nearly triple that at 25% rate of return. On the flip side, you have Manny. Manny's going to save 25%, and Manny's going to make the average rate of return of 10%. So Sal's going to save 10%, make 25%. Manny's going to save 25%, make 10%. Do you realize that on the course of their financial trajectory, Sal does not pass Manny for over 10 years? Let me say that again. At that differential between savings rates, Sal would have to make 25% every single year for a decade to make up for what Manny was able to do just by increasing his savings rate. What Manny was doing saving was way more powerful than what Sal was doing in trying to accommodate his rate of return.
Well, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. Nobody is going to get 25% every year for 10 years. If they were out there, we'd all be loaded up on it. But more than likely, whenever you do see these one-off stories, they turn off to be the Bernie Madoffs. They turn off to be the crooks that were basically promising it was too good to be true, and people fell into the trap. And that's why we want to focus on the fact of what can you control. It's, of course, that discipline. It's creating the margin. It's the money. And if you can get your savings rate of 20 to 25%, as we just told you, which is aspirational, but it's so good. If you do this long enough, the compounding on this is just so incredible, and it gets us so excited that I just want you to know, focus on what you can control so you can see how powerful this is in your future.
And remember, the goal is to save 25%. You may not be able to do that today, but what you can do is okay, what can I save? How can I improve? Can I improve 1%? And then can I improve 1 more percent? And then can I slowly build towards that 25%? Because remember, the earlier you start, the more time you have on your side, the more powerful it can be. And that's exactly what the third ingredient of wealth creation is. It's time.
Yeah. Everybody, if you're young, here's what I love. We just did a show recently, and I found out that 87% of our audience is under 50 years of age. The majority of you in your 20s. Hot dog. I mean, because you are a billionaire of time. For all the jealousy you might have for your bosses or coworkers who are a little bit older and have a little bit more money, maybe make a little bit more money, they are just as jealous of you with that opportunity of time. In a lot of cases, that time is going to be more valuable than even what they've got in their Roth IRA because you have the potential for it to grow exponentially upon itself.
Remember the very beginning, we said that for a 20-year-old, $1 has the ability to turn into $88. That's why we have all the koozies, all the swag that talks about that, because we understand that when you can apply discipline and margin through time, it can multiply your wealth. We even have a tool called the Wealth Multiplier. You can go to moneyguy.com/resources, and you can play with this. You can see, okay, if I'm 25 years old, what does every dollar I save turn into by the time I get to 65? If I'm 35 years old, how much can every dollar I save turn into? And what you're going to recognize is that the earlier you figure this out, the earlier you recognize the power of your dollars, the larger your wealth multiplier can be. And it's because you are now taking advantage of that powerful ingredient that is time.
Well, but I want to be, and I think it's appropriate for me since I'm in my 50s, to throw us the cold water. Look, when you're 20, every dollar has potential to become 88. When you're 30, it's 23. That's still an amazing thing.
But drops a lot.
Did you see the drop off? I mean, it basically, you cut it in a quarter. And then fast forward to the 40-year-old, because you put it off, and this goes back to my point when we were starting the show. Now it has a wealth multiplier of around 7. Still incredible, but such a tenfold difference from the 20-year-old.
That's right.
And then you get to my age, when you're 50 years of age, and you have to round it up to even get to 3. I mean, guys, don't squander the opportunity, as you have the potential for every dollar in your armory to be so powerful for you that you'll think about spending differently. You'll think about how you're saving. You'll think about the investing. Time is that powerful.